Hey, hey, hey! It's AAA Wednesday, which is my Ask Alyssa Anything series, where I'm responding to questions you left in the comments about the publishing industry and querying and writing a better story. Thank you so much to all of my subscribers and everyone who's left a comment for me. Even though I can't get back to all of them, I love all of the engagement and hope this is a small way that I can engage directly with you. If you're enjoying these Q&A sessions, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. It really does help my channel reach more writers just like you. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to join this amazing community. Without further ado, let's go into the first question today. I don't know if you already answered this in some other video, but I want to know if you recommend to send query letters to different agencies at the same time, or is it better to go one at a time until one of them accepts? I'm not sure if I have already addressed this in another video or not, but you definitely want to submit your query to multiple agencies at the same time. This is called a simultaneous submission. Unless the agency specifically states that they require exclusive submissions, which would be very rare and honestly very strange, then you will definitely want to query multiple agencies at the same time. This is because if you sit around waiting for one agent to get back to you, you're likely going to be waiting weeks or even months, and that's just not a good use of your time. Agents totally understand that you are reaching out to multiple agents at the same time. They do not expect you to be querying them one by one. So I recommend querying in batches and then waiting to get some feedback and responses and then sending out a next batch. Typically, the batches would be somewhere between 5 to 12 queries each. That way, if you get feedback from someone else or from one of the agents that you could strengthen your query letter or strengthen your opening pages, you can make that change before querying all the agents on your list. So I recommend taking that batching method so you can be iterative with your queries. Before we move on to the next question, I want to let you know about a free resource I created specifically for my YouTube community. It's called my free story self-assessment worksheet, and it's a fun, easy quiz designed to help you look at your manuscript from a new perspective, identify what's working well in it, and what could be improved on the next draft. Downloading that's going to sign you up for my newsletter, where I publish interviews with publishing industry insiders and successfully published authors, and they're giving some amazing tips and insights that I don't want you to miss out on. If you want to go straight to the newsletter, the link is also in the description. Next question here. Can you tell us the qualifications of successful queries or the common mistakes of unsuccessful queries again? In other words, how do we improve our chances? You have mentioned this in several videos, but like a good sermon, it is good to hear something more than once until it sinks in. Sure, I can absolutely give a quick rundown of the top things that make a query successful. First is if it is properly formatted, if it looks like a query and contains all the important information. You would be surprised how many queries I reviewed at a literary agency that just did not follow instructions. And that's not a good look when you're trying to engage in a professional relationship. I get the desire to make your query stand out, but truly, what is going to stand out in the query is the content. Agents are skimming through queries relatively quickly because they are trying to get back to as many authors as feasibly possible. So if your information is not there, or if it's not in the right place, then it's unlikely they're going to want to move forward with you. They're not going to probe you for more information. So make sure that your query letter follows standard formatting, includes everything it needs to, and is professionally presented. I would say the second area that's the biggest pitfall for authors who are querying is the plot blurb section. Basically, that plot blurb needs to be a movie trailer teaser of your book. It should make the agent intrigued to want to read your sample pages and then your full manuscript. If it doesn't do that, it's not doing the job it needs to. Too often, that blurb is either too long or too short or too descriptive with too many specifics of the plot, or not descriptive enough with not enough specifics of the plot. So you really need to hit that Goldilocks balance of giving the agent enough information to make sense of the characters and the stakes and the conflict of your story without obviously giving everything away. I have 2 other videos that go into how to structure a query letter, what everything should include, and specifically a deep dive into how to write the plot blurb section. So I'm going to link those in the description for you to check out as well. Here's the next question. I have a question regarding my YA portal fantasy novel. I have discovered during the drafting process of my novel that portal fantasy is not the hottest fantasy subgenre in the current market. But my novel does have a lot of tropes that people are reading most recently: secret societies, fantastical creatures, love triangle taverns, quests, etc. How do I highlight the strengths of my novel in a query letter to capture the interest of an agent or future reader? This is a great question and touches on one of the most common concerns of writers who are querying, which is that your genre isn't what is hot right now, or it's not what agents are looking for. First and foremost, I do want you to detach as much as you can from the idea that there are certain genres that are in vogue and then certain genres that are not. While we do see this to some degree, we do see waves of vampire romance. We do see this wave of psychological thrillers that we can't seem to get off of, right? But at the end of the day, any agent will tell you that they are looking for a great story. Yes, they specialize in certain genres, but because you're writing vampires and it's no longer the Twilight era, that doesn't mean they're going to immediately reject you. Most agents will tell you that they don't abide by these trends at all, because also the publishing industry is extremely slow moving. Something that an agent signs today likely isn't going to be published for minimum 2 to 3 years from now. So there's really no point in trying to anticipate where trends are going, what genres or subgenres are hot right now or not, because it's all going to be moot anyway. That said, undeniably, agents are going to be more attracted to elements of a story that pique their interest, especially if that is something very relevant in pop culture right now. So if you notice that your book has certain elements, like you mentioned secret societies being one, that you think more agents are looking for right now, the way that I would incorporate that in your query is in your comparable titles section. This is the paragraph where I like to hear a little bit more about the flavor of your book, some of the more specific aspects of it that might make it stand out, and which aspects we see in some successfully published titles, which are your comp titles. So you could say something like, featuring a corrupt secret society like blank title, and then comp it to another secret society novel that is out right now. My novel does XYZ. That way, we get a sense of how it fits into the market, and you're calling out that element that you think might pique agents' interest. As for presenting your genre overall at the top of your query letter, you don't necessarily have to say that it is portal fantasy if you're concerned that the portal aspect might turn agents off. You could just say that it's YA fantasy and leave it at that. We have time for one more question today. I participated in the Kidlit Pit and Joy Pit events on Twitter, and no agent or editor gave my pitch a like. Did I ruin my chances with all these agents now? At first, I thought the pitching event was a great idea, but now I wonder if my participation was a bit reckless. It's highly likely that your tweet just got buried in the many hundreds of tweets that were going on during these pitching events. I wouldn't worry at all that any agent or publisher didn't like it. Maybe they just didn't see it, or maybe the pitch that you had in the tweet just didn't resonate with them at that given moment that they were looking at them. But it has not shot your chances by any means. Go ahead and query any agent that you were planning on querying already. It's very unlikely that they are going to even remember the tweet that you posted if they did see it, because I'm sure they were just reviewing a lot of them very quickly. So go ahead and send out those queries. I don't see any problem with that. Thanks so much to everyone who submitted a question today, and if you have something you'd like to ask, drop it in the comments here and it will be added to my queue. Before you head out, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button because it really helps out my channel. Hit that subscribe button to join this amazing community, and don't forget your free story self-assessment worksheet and my newsletter link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and happy writing.